Yo, 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 what is up? And last night I tier 3'd Quicksilver, so I wanted to bring you guys tier 3 Quicksilver content, and now the big speed guy has got his buff. And without spoiling too much, I have to say he's very strong. Is he going to take back his mantle? I don't know, but this tier 3 might be a major go. So without further ado, let's check out his tier 3 advancement animation here for the new uniform. Ooh. Looking pretty slick. And really quickly, we'll also check out the Barney with the sort of Matrix bullet time animation. I really like that touch. And then those little lines get sort of a purplish hue to them. So, with that being said, we're going to get into some gameplay after we talk about the tier 3 for Quicksilver. Now, I know off the bat, a lot of you guys are going to be asking me and asking me to compare him to other tier 3s. Keep in mind, he is a 1200 CCF tier 3, so he is on the level of cost with characters like Doctor Strange, Deadpool, Wolverine, Mr. Fantastic, etc. That being said, I do think that Deadpool is a really good comparison for him, at least stat-wise, so that you can start to get an idea of what the character can and can't do. So in Deadpool's case, when you get him up to tier 3, his base stats read just over 9,000 physical attack, 9,200, and 27,500 HP. If we go over to Quicksilver, his tier 3 gives him the same amount of HP, 27,500, but he gets a whopping 1,100 or 11,900, so almost 12,000 physical attack. That's almost 3,000 more damage, more physical attack damage that he's going to be able to output than Deadpool with his base kit, or with his base stats. So what that actually translates into when you account for cards and uniform and Uru and ISO 8, I'm at 37,700 physical attack, almost 38,000. My Deadpool's at 31,300. So more than 6,000 physical attack above him, with both of them rocking mythic uniforms, with most of the options being heroic or higher. So this is a huge stat bump for a character that already hits super hard, and unlike Deadpool, remember, he has the 70% chance to penetrate all the time. So that's a big deal to give a character that's that, aggressive and that precise, to give him that much damage. Keep in mind also that his tier 3 skill does not introduce all defense down. He has no all defense down on any of his skills, so the damage that you see from him when you play with him is what you get. So any all defense down that's applied on top, whether you're switching characters or whether you're using strikers, is gravy. And with characters like Quicksilver, with characters like Cyclops and Sharon Rogers, when you amplify their damage by stacking all defense down, you can get some really nutty numbers, and the damage is really disgusting. So that is something to look forward to and to hope for. And as another aside here, I also want to say that in my opinion, I don't think the uniform is responsible for his damage. So for those of you that are really itching to tier 3 Quicksilver, but you don't have the crystals to throw down for his uniform, although it's way cooler looking than the Barney, I think he's still going to do really well with Barney. I don't think there's much of a difference at all. His second skill is definitely much stronger, fancy footwork, with this new uniform, and that makes him a lot better for PvP with this uniform, because you can use the second skill to either finish off enemies or one-shot them, and I'll show you guys what that looks like. His old second skill, although it has guard break, immunity, penetration, it does not have the damage to actually do much of anything to most characters, so you can't rely on it for DPS the way that you can rely on his new second skill. So that is something to take into account. We're also going to do a little bit of testing to see about his VFX or SFX. Now, before we get into it, I'll show you guys the clip here, clearing stage 55, or almost clearing stage 55 Proxima with tier 2 Quicksilver with my build. Oh, and by the way, for my build here, two things to note. First, his uniform gives him 10% all attack speed, so you don't need to go with Power of Angry Hulk. You can actually go with Overdrive. It's more sort of efficient. And then I've got an obelisk. I don't have a CTP, so all my free-to-play brothers and sisters out there, all my broke boys, I'm with you. I think this is one of the best characters for a non-CTP build, Energy is amazing for him because of all the chain hits, and Rage might be good, but I really think an Obelisk works well with him, unlike other characters, because the guard break immunity allows you to use him in PvP. The damage proc, of course, boosts your damage. He doesn't need the invincibility at all. And then the dodge is flexible. Now, I like the dodge because I can go up to 74% dodge, almost capped dodge, which is really nice for PvP. But you could go with max HP, or you could go with a cheeky ignore dodge if you wanted to kill other Quicksilvers faster, because if you stack ignore dodge, let's say you get 30% with a guard break 180 proc, you stack that with his 50% ignore dodge, suddenly you're hitting enemy Quicksilvers at an 80% clip. You're going to get the first kill most of the time. One last thing to know before we get into the content, Quicksilver might be the premier tier 3 to kill his sister, because she has energy reflect, and it appears that she has higher energy defenses, on top of the fact that she's a blast character. So Quicksilver, as a speed type, is going to do more damage against her because of type enhancement. He's also a physical damage dealing character, so he also has that going for him. And on top of that, she has debuff removal or debuff immunity, I believe, so all defense down doesn't work against her anyways. So I think Quicksilver is going to do way better at high stages of Scarlet Witch World Boss Ultimate compared to someone like Deadpool, who's going to struggle on stages where he can't apply his all defense down. So with the previous clip of Proxima, I was able to get down, get her health down to about 2 bars with about 3 minutes left. So in about 2 minutes. So we're aiming to beat that 2-minute mark here from tier 2 to tier 3. Let's see how much stronger he gets. Keep in mind that there are the variables of whether I can hit my proc, which I'm going to try to do, of course, but then also whether the strikers are going to cooperate with me. I think they will, but there is always that possibility. But I wanted to give you guys sort of a real-world, showing here. Now, we took a long time to switch to Quicksilver because he was striking for Nick Fury. What a good guy, striking for the old shield boss. So we're going to go ahead and try to get this clean rotation. We did get the all defense down to stack, and we did get the right proc to land. So here we go. We're going to cancel 5 into 6. That was a perfect proc, and there you can see 2 to 3 bars of damage instantaneously. Now, I used the 5th skill before, we missed the proc there, but I used the 5th skill before using 6 because of the fact that it has a lot of hits. And so that 5th skill, applying all those hits, is going to help you trigger the proc. I find that the 6th skill, that Quicksilver's 6th skill, is not good at triggering the proc by itself. And there you can see we missed most of his 6th skill because it just didn't trigger your damage proc obelisk or your CTP. So keep that in mind. But he is flying through this. I don't know how much time has gone by. A minute. So we're already, we're most of the way there, and only a minute has passed. We are getting interrupted by the spears here, but that's okay. We're going to be able to survive it and proc the tier 3 here. We were definitely way off course with the tier 3 because it was way too early, but that's okay. We're just going to keep doing damage, keep plowing through. Just sort of a nice gauge here. I think personally his damage has gone up by at least 50% over his old uniform, or over his tier 2. But that is something that's going to obviously vary if you get interrupted by iframes, if certain things happen. His tier 3 there just got interrupted. It's definitely not a perfect build. It's not a perfect character, but he does a lot more damage in a big hurry now. And yeah, just that tier 3 skill is a little bit awkward sometimes, especially against Proxima. I find that he does really well against Corvus, and you guys are going to see this now. I really want to show this to you guys. He does absurdly well against Corvus. So let me show you guys this stage 69. I struggled a little bit against Thanos, to be honest with you guys, but we're going to go ahead with the same team here, double support. We're going to X these two here to get these two here, so we're at 90%, 90% ignore dodge. And then we've got the mind control strikers to try to keep Corvus down. But yeah, he definitely does really well, and he'll do even better with a CTP. The CTP of energy is going to offset some of your mistakes because of the chain hit damage, so keep that in mind. We also lost about 6 seconds on that previous run because we had to start early. We had to start late because he was striking for Nick Fury. He still has the difficulty of not having the smoothest rotation, in the sense that you do have to get a little bit lucky with some of the timing, but when things land, it's nice. So there we go. We're off to the second part, or the second phase of this fight. We're getting a lot of all defense down strikers, but I'm not sure if I can attack. I don't want to attack Corvus. Here's the thing. So we are losing time here, because he's supposed to do this part of the fight, and he just basically wasted 10 seconds of my time not doing it. So, you know, don't hold that against Quicksilver, but let's see what happens here. I want to give Quicksilver a fair shake here. I don't want people to think that he's too strong. I don't want people to think he's too weak. I think he's an above average tier 3. Where he's going to ultimately land, I'm not sure, but I think we missed the proc there as well. Man, not having a CTP can be really annoying sometimes. Quicksilver is probably one of the characters that benefits the most from not having a CTP, or he can still benefit despite not having a CTP, but he's also one of the most annoying characters in the game to try and you know, accurately time your damage procs to, because of the fact that I'm getting snared. Awesome. So yeah, I told you guys he was doing well against Corvus, but I'm actually doing terribly right now. Because I'm missing my proc and getting interrupted, and this damage is terrible. What is going on? I don't know, but yeah, it's more a result of RNG rather than Quicksilver's own struggles here. Do not get interrupted, buddy. You need to land this tier 3 skill. There we go. It seems like less than a bar. It definitely varies. Sometimes his tier 3 skill does a lot of hits and it does a lot of damage. It might honestly be the SFX, so I do want to investigate that. You know what? Why don't we just investigate it right now? So that was pretty bad, but that took about 2 minutes to finish the first phase of the fight. He can definitely do stage 69, but that is with a full deck being stacked in his favor. Now we're going to go over to the settings and we're going to turn on. Apparently, if you turn on SFX, he has a mountain more hits on his tier 3 skill. This has been reported on the Reddit. People have been testing it on the skill preview. I don't know. Am I going to have to practice more with Quicksilver because I've just had him at tier 3 for less than 24 hours? Absolutely. But I also want to squeeze in a PvP fight so you guys can see that he is one of the best two-way characters in Marvel Future Fight. So we're definitely going to have to get used to canceling that 5th skill right away. I definitely lost some time there, and I'm probably going to... Oh, you know what? That was... Okay, no, we got snared. Awesome. Yeah, okay, getting snared is fun. Okay, let's see the tier 3 skill. There it is. And, yeah, I mean, that definitely did more damage. Okay, so there's a possibility... asterisk, there's a possibility that his tier 3 skill does more when you turn the SFX on. I believe someone said on the Reddit that Captain Marvel is the same way, although, to be fair to Quicksilver, unlike Captain Marvel, Quicksilver actually does damage with his tier 3 skill. Captain Marvel's tier 3 skill honestly does very little damage. You mostly just use it for the iframe ignore, and the buffs that it gives you. It's really not a high damage skill. It's a nice AoE skill because she doesn't have a lot of AoE, but it's not that great otherwise. Man, it's a lot harder to keep the procs on target and on check with this new 5th skill. But here we go. Yeah, it's like minimum a bar and a half. Wow, that's uncanny. It's a lot of damage. So now we're at a minute 20. That's a 40 seconds. That's a 40-second increase in the amount of time. I didn't get snared this time, but there's a possibility that he deals a lot more damage with SFX turned on, which I think is going to upset some people. I'm not upset by it. It's a little bit of a bummer because I don't personally like playing with SFX on, but yeah, let's just see what happens here. That's a nice proc. Woo, that's nice. This is stage 69. Maybe there is some timing that you can work out where it's actually easier to, you know, do the timing on his proc because the 5th skill stalls a little bit. We're going to get the 6th skill here again, but we got interrupted because he's doing some attack, but you can't see because of the SFX. That's sort of the disadvantage of the SFX. You can't see the whole arena, and so you miss out on what the boss is doing. I also missed my 4th skill combo, so we're kind of just winging it right now. I'm just spamming random skills to build up my tier 3, and we're just going to pop it right here, and it's definitely doing good damage. Now, is the damage better? That's absolutely the question. We just dodged all those attacks from that laser. That was pretty sweet. Now we have to make sure to not get hit here. Okay, good. All right. Yeah, we missed our proc there. Let's see how long it takes to finish him off completely. Let's pop the tier 3. That was really nice. 1, 2, 3, almost 3 full bars. Very nice. And yeah, do you guys play with SFX on or not? Let me know in the comments. And let's talk about this for Quicksilver because it's pretty interesting. So 2 minutes 2 minutes left, and we're going to crush that bad boy. I think we can do it even faster because I missed at least 1 proc or 2 procs. But now, here we go. This is the big thing. The two-way character. Same build, same obelisk. Let's jump into a fight here against a stacked opponent. We want somebody. Here we go. This looks like a nice team. And we're going to go up against them with, with Quicksilver on the lineup. So we're going to go with this team, but we're going to switch over to Quicksilver. And of course, we're going to be playing manually. We're in late 2019. We're almost in the 2020s. Autoplay timeline, being able to win an autoplay timeline is kind of a dead thing. So we're going to open with the 2 here, and you can see I was almost able to completely kill her. We're getting guard broken a little bit, which is scary, but I was almost able to completely kill her with his new second skill. So that is definitely one of the big time advantages of Quicksilver's new second skill, is that you can do a ton of damage. Don't get guard broken, buddy. It's so scary when you get guard broken. You can do a ton of damage with his new second skill, so that definitely bodes well for him. Now, this is the big challenge, whether we can kill Thanos. Now, we're going to pop the tier 3 because we built it up. We got interrupted or something. I don't know what happened. Awesome. The tier 3 definitely has some targeting issues. We're taking a lot of damage. We're dishing it back a little bit, but we're also not killing him. So that's kind of a problem. Thanos is definitely one of the more difficult characters to deal with, but I think we got him there. And now finally we have Dr. Reflect, which is not going to be a big deal. Oh, there we go. I died. That was literally the first time I've died to Colossus Reflect. Yeah, but there you go. That's a pretty good showing, and that's probably what you're going to expect most of the time. He can easily handle Jean Grey. He definitely struggles a bit with Thanos, but most heroes do unless they pack a huge punch. And then we can show him off against a Silver Surfer as well. That's a level 60 Silver Surfer. No, thank you. But yeah, he does really, really well against Jean, which is sort of to be expected. And then he does pretty well against pretty much everyone else except possibly himself and Thanos. Ooh, that's a nice one too, but there's no debuff on that team. We want one with Wasp as well. It keeps scrolling me back up to the top, which is one of the most annoying things about this current old build of Timeline, you know? It would be so nice, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, if Netmarble would fix Timeline and actually make it, you know, a game mode that was created in the last couple of years, rather than a game mode that's like from 2010, some goofy stuff. Well, I can't find a good team, so I'm gonna stop. Oh, there we go. Here's the last one. Gone Balder. So let's check out this Jean Grey. She's stacking as much reduction as she can. They did get rid of the reduction that allows you to go to 100%, so there's no way to do 1 damage. But let's see how he does against her with the Hella buff as well. And there you go. Just the second skill one-shotted her over 180,000 damage right away. And we're pretty much going to do the same thing here through the heal with both Colossus and Hella. Now again, maybe not the best build for Jean Grey. I didn't notice any sort of PvP, CTP, or sort of regen there. This is what it usually looks like against Colossus. You don't do a lot of damage, but he definitely does die. That one death where I got, you know, nuked to reflect is unusual. You just stay in iframes and you don't take any reflect damage. So let me know what you guys think of Quicksilver. I think he's definitely an above average tier 3. I'm going to run some more tests, do some more numbers, and then come out with a finalized guide on where he fits in the tier 3 list and sort of put him in. But, you know, he is definitely returning to form. Maybe not as high on the list overall, but he's one of the best tier 3 characters that is two-way, i.e., he's available and he's strong for both PvE content and PvP content. So let me know what you guys want to see next. Subscribe if you enjoy the content, hit the like if you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.